Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Walter. With me now in our studio is Stacey Dixon. Stacey is the Acting Deputy Director of InnoVision at NGA, and we're pleased to sit down with her today. Stacey, how are you?
Mike, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you tell us who are NGA's current academic partners and how have they helped NGA meet mission demands and expand mission capabilities?
We have quite a number of academic partners now. To start with, we have several different initiatives that they can come through. There's our grants program, which includes university research initiatives, and we have 37 of those right now, 37 different institutions that are involved with those. We have cooperative research agreements with another 6 schools, and most excitingly, we have a new series of interactions called our Centers for Academic Excellence in the Geospatial Sciences, which are 17 new universities that we're partnering with to help them influence the curriculum so that we can have the skill sets we need later on.
You're busy. Can you provide some examples of NGA successes made possible through academic partnerships?
I can. So much really interesting research is taking place at the university level that can help us with our mission needs. For example, as we move towards the situation where there's so much more data out there, we're relying on the computational skill sets that the university students are putting together, the research that the professors are working on. We know that there's going to be a lot more data coming out in the future, both from government sources and sensors, as well as from commercial sources and sensors. And we need to be able to make sense of it all. So we're relying on the universities and the research to use those computational expertise to help us to automatically recognize information that's in video, whether it's motion, textures, colors, to be able to go and use those skills to then go into future videos and find the same things, for example. To try to make sense of all the data out there and the relationships between things, leveraging technology, because it's very difficult for people to see all of those relationships ourselves, but if you use the technology, it's fantastic. To a computer, an image, a digital file, it's all zeros and ones. And they're able to go through and parse through things and find those relationships that it can be more difficult for a person to find. So we're using them for things like that. For example, one of our new initiatives is in immersive analytic environments. And that is literally trying to make sense of the complex relationships between systems. So whether it is policy systems, national security systems, energy systems, water, things that could pose potential national security issues later, trying to make sense of them up front so that we can prepare for them later on, and then being able to help people of all disciplines visualize what we're showing them from the information. So a lot of really interesting efforts.
Well, it sounds like it. How do you see NGA's academic partnerships evolving to meet future mission needs, which I guess is what you're talking about here?
Absolutely. The best thing about them is that you can modify them year to year and focus on different aspects of things that become more important in one year than another. We have broad area announcements that we can modify that allow both university professors as well as students to propose against them and then receive money to fund efforts that they may propose to us. We have the ability to, as I mentioned, influence the curriculum. So I see it completely evolving in the future, expanding, because there's so much really good research out there, and being able to take advantage of the expertise that the students have, that the professors have. That's what they do, and it's in our best interest as the intelligence community, as National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency, to leverage as much as we can that's happening in universities, because it's a lot of really exciting things that can contribute to our mission.
I love the 2 words you use, evolving, expanding, because that's the industry itself, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's going to be so many more things that become part of the GEOINT mission in the future, I believe. And the unclassified sources that are available now and becoming available more are only going to allow more people, more students, more faculty to actually participate in helping us to solve some of those national security challenges.
You're talking about participation, and surely there are a lot of people who want in. So are you currently seeking new academic partners, and how do interested parties actually get involved with NGA?
We are always seeking new academic partners, and there's several different mechanisms. I mentioned our broad area announcement. So this is actually, you can go to grants.gov to find opportunities to actually propose against them and then receive funding for your initiatives. We also have, I mentioned cooperative research and development agreements, where although there's no funding involved, you work closely with our agency to help align some of the aspects of your research to some of our more challenging problems. I mentioned the Centers for Academic Excellence in Geospatial Sciences. That's a great opportunity to come in. We are awarding 17 of these relationships to new schools this year. I would say anyone who would be interested in something like that in the future should just keep an eye on that program and find opportunities to learn about it. So several different places for different people from the academic realm to come in and interact with us on a daily basis.
Why don't we stay with the Centers for Academic Excellence just for a second? How is it helping grow the next generation of geospatial professionals?
It's a fantastic opportunity for us to influence the curricula that's taking place at the different universities so that the students coming out have the skills that we need, not just now, but in the future. So that when they're looking for opportunities, when they're looking for potential employers, not only do they know who we are, but they're able to be attractive to us because they have those various skill sets. In addition to working on the curricula, we're going to have our officers, whether they're analysts, source strategists, or R&D professionals, interacting more closely with the universities so that they can keep abreast of the challenges that we have, as well as we can know more about what's happening on their level. So we're building those relationships, and these will be enduring relationships over time. So I really see a lot of promise in this new program.
Can you tell me a little bit more about NGA's current STEM outreach initiatives and what the short-term and the long-term goals are on these initiatives?
So the STEM outreach initiatives are part and parcel of what I've described before with respect to some of our academic partnerships, although not all of the academic partnerships are STEM focused, as you might imagine. But that science, technology, engineering, mathematics, we see so much potential for the need for more of those skill sets in the future. And we know that the pipeline is small right now. There are not enough students going into it with our classification requirements. That even limits us even further. And so we have outreach programs that go out into high schools, both here in the DC area as well as in St. Louis, where we have a large footprint, to interact with the students there, expose them to the types of studies that they might want to get involved in to later on contribute to an agency like ours. Then our academic programs in general, we have many of those that are in STEM fields. And whether it's something like computer science, where you don't necessarily have to have your geospatial background, but you can contribute greatly to our ability to analyze data. There's a lot of different ways that our STEM outreach encourages students to get involved.
A lot of entry points.
A lot of entry points.
Yeah, that's great. Stacey, it's always great to hear the NGA perspective. Thanks for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the time.
We've been speaking with Stacey Dixon, Acting Deputy Director of InnoVision at NGA. Stay tuned for more Trajectory on Location.